You are a multitude of being. Do you ever stop to remember that? You are a multifaceted, multi-layered person, being in this world. You are made of society, you are made of the family you come from, you are made by whatever forces are around you. You are made by the power of yourself to cultivate and forge who you are in the fires of your life. You are made by the challenges. You are an expression of all the things you've overcome. You are so rich and wide and vast. And I want to invite you to not reduce yourself, to not consider the search and the exploration of your spiritual practice to be one that reduces you to one particular aspect of you. We hear a lot all around us, a conversation in spiritual traditions about the true self. And I want to challenge this concept, this notion, this idea that there is only one authentic presence for being who we are. The self in the yoga tradition, the word for self as the self that is the big self, the soul, is Atman. So we have this part of us that you can think about it in so many ways. It can be this soul idea, however you want to put that together for yourself. Your soul can be also whatever you find in you that is soulful, that is filled with spirit, with breath. So you have this part of you, but is that the most important part? I will argue that all the parts of you, including the ones that you tend to send to exile, are important and necessary and are here for us to learn how to integrate and weave all of who we are together. In Sanskrit, also in the yoga tradition, there's a word, ahamkara. And ahamkara is often translated as ego. And when you break the word down, aham means I or I am, and kara means doing. So ahamkara is self-making. It's literally the ability to personify who you are, to put yourself together, to make yourself who you are. And is that not important? Is that not something that is necessary to embrace, to cultivate, to be in touch with? So the ego gets a bad rep because it has problematic sides. But I would argue that this idea of the spiritual part of us that is the soul of who we are, that can be really problematic too, because that tends to, because it's an idea and a concept, disconnect us sometimes from the world, from living fully, from experiencing the wide range of experience of being human. We have a wounded self. We have an inner child part of ourselves. We have the self that other people view us as. We have a self that we present to the world and a self that we allow to let loose a little bit when we're in the privacy of our own being. So the self is a complexity. The self is a multitude. And I want to invite us right now into a practice, into a somatic way, into a yoga practice that gives room and allows for the entirety of the self, as in the fluidity of the multitude of selves, to be embraced, to be for yourself to be immersed in, and for you to really hold this entirety, this vastness of you in strength, in support, in groundedness, in all the ways that you need. So I'm Hagar. Welcome to Mama Mandala, where magic is somatic. We are going into our magic carpet right now. So on your mat, on all fours, hands and knees, spread your fingers wide and root your hands into the floor as you are rooting yourself into the most grounded part of you to support you in this process of embracing the whole of you. Move your hips a little bit side to side so that this process of groundedness is paired with a process of movement, with mobility, with fluidity. You can circle your hips in one direction. Bring a little bit of an attention to your breath and circle the hips in the opposite direction. And you may hear it, I'm cultivating Ujjayi pranayama, so you can do the same. Tone the back of the throat and breathe in this resonant way. Inhale, hips back, chest forward. And exhale, look in towards your belly and round your back. So you're tending to the openness of you. Inhale, hips back, chest forward. In the front of you, to the expression of who you are. And exhale, look in towards your navel and round your back and turn yourself inside. There is no part of you that is more important than the other. Inhale, hips back, chest forward. But perhaps there is a part of us that is the container part. Exhale and round the back. The part that rounds us up. The part that collects us and kind of brings the pieces together. Inhale, hips back, chest forward for another cow. And exhale, one last cat. Around the back, right? And even that, you have so many archetypes, so many archetypal presences inside of you. Inhale to the space between cat and cow. And exhale, reach your hips up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. The fingers are spread, the hands are spread, the hands are rooted, toes are spread, and feet are anchored. If this is too much for you to be in downward facing dog in this way, you can always put your hands on a wall and have your hips reach back so that you're doing it in a non-weight bearing way on your wrists. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Bend the knee, open up your hip and reach your right foot toward the left. And even this position, spread your toes so your leg up there is strong, invites you to take a part of your side of you and take it to the other side. You are weaving together all the selves. Reach your leg back. Deep breath in. And exhale. Bring your knee in towards your nose for a moment. Press your hands into the earth. Deep, slow inhale here. And exhale. Bring your foot forward in between your heads. Slow breath. Lengthen your spine. Deep inhale. And as you exhale, reach your right arm up to the sky for a little twist. Bend deep into your front knee and lengthen back through your back leg. And as you open your chest up to the sky, the tendency would be to lose the center, to lose a little bit of your core, of who you are. Because that happens too, right? In the process of being all the selves that we are learning to not lose who we are or to weave the lost parts, the lost children, into the mix. So draw the sides of the ribs on the right side toward the floor, towards the left, as you turn your chest and open up towards the sky. Inhale slowly, touch the ground on the inside of your right leg. Spin the left heel to the floor. And I'm gonna turn around toward you. You're gonna bring both of your hands on the inside of your right leg and walk your hands away from your right foot. Widen the right knee to the right as you bend deep into your front knee and lift your hips up a little bit more as you root into the left foot. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. Feet rooted into the earth. Actively anchor the feet into the ground. Deep breath in. Walk your hands to frame your front foot. And with an exhalation, plant your hands and step up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, bring your knees down to the ground and wrap the sides of the ribs toward the center. So your core, the part of you that collects the pieces of you, strongly wrapping, connecting. With an exhalation, keep this strength and bend the elbows so that your chest goes to the space between your hands and your chin goes down to the floor. And from here, inhale, bring your hips down, point your feet, Lift your chest up and ground into your toenails as you broaden through your collarbones. Deep breath in. Root down into your hands as you exhale, reach up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog, or put your hands on the wall if you need to. You can also just put your knees down if that's better for you. Inhale the left leg up. Bend the knee and open up your hip. The side that you're leaning into, the right side right now, is going to tend to be a little bit more collapsing. Do you feel that? So the process of weaving all the selves that we are together is recognizing where there's a collapse, where there's a misalignment, opportunity to connect. So lift the right head of the right arm bone, the right armpit. Lift your right hip up. And then open up through the left side a little bit more. Reach your leg back, deep breath in. And with an exhalation, step your foot forward. And before you place it in between your hands, draw the knee and the nose towards each other. So again, you're creating this strength in your core, in your abdominal region, in the core of who you are. As you exhale next, step the foot forward all the way in between your hands. Inhale to lengthen your spine. And exhale with your left arm up to the sky. Bend deep into your left knee, reach back through your right leg, and open up through your heart. Again, if you're feeling like when you're opening up, the tendency is to open up so much that you're collapsing in your backside, lift the backside up and bring a little bit more strength now to your core so that front of the left hip bone pulls towards the front of the right hip bone, and the ribs on the left side pull towards the right as your chest goes up to the sky as you open up. Inhale, hand on the inside of your left leg, right heel to the floor. I'm gonna spin around again so I can face you and walk your hands away from your left foot, breathing. What parts of the self, of the multitude of selves, need to be awakened a little bit more? What parts of yourself need to be rooted into more deeply? Root it down through your feet into the parts that you want to cultivate and energize. And then walk around again, walk your hands to the front foot. Plant your hands and step back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Hands rooted, feet rooted. Again, do the variation that you need if weight bearing on your hands is not your thing. Bring your knees down to the floor with an inhale. Keep your hands rooted deeply. And exhale, send your chest forward and your chin forward and down without losing the strength of your core. Shoulders lift up and away from the floor so your wrists are more protected, your shoulders are more protected. And inhale into Cobra. Point your feet, spread your toes, lift your chest. Broaden through your collarbones as you draw the heads of the arm bones back without, again, collapsing your core. Opening your heart doesn't need to mean collapsing your core. That's the tendency. But as we integrate all the parts, we also get the opportunity to work on the tendencies of parts of ourselves because they become more integrated with other parts. Downward facing dog with an exhalation. Does that make sense? I hope I said that clearly enough. Bring your knees down to the floor. And bring yourself to lie on your back. Bring your knees into your chest. Move a little bit side to side. So we can work on our tendencies as we weave more parts of ourselves together. Because the parts that will tend to collapse into a certain tendency, you can take your knees now to the right and open the left shoulder to the left. Wrapping yourself around the core, the center the central channel of who you are. In the yoga tradition, it's called Shushumna Nadi, the channel of the center, column of light, column of fire. And as you wrap things and let them come into deep relationship with the Shushumna Nadi, with the central channel of energy that's also in the yoga tradition associated with like the universal part of the self. So it's this column of fire is transformative, it's central to who you are, and it's also this the entirety, the big picture of the universe. So working on our tendencies is something that happens when we weave the different parts together, because they come into relationship with other parts. Inhale your knees back to center. And then the tendencies are challenged, right? Exhale, take your knees to the left and open the right arm to the right and ground the right shoulder into the earth. Keep the breath moving deep, slow. As you're twisting around the center of you, but you're allowing a different view, and you're allowing parts of you to move in opposite directions. So you're adding to the complexity of who you are, instead of reducing, instead of taking away, instead of overly simplifying things. It's like an antidote to the superficiality of the world right now. You're layering yourself. You're able to see things with more nuance instead of black or white. Bring your knees back to center. And with an exhalation, bring your feet down to the ground. Inhale, bring your right knee into your chest. Flex your right foot, interlace your fingers behind your right thigh, and stretch your right leg straight up to the sky. So the foot is flexed as a way for you to somatically, to physically engage who you are and activate the pieces that are most needed right now, so that the pieces that aren't so helpful have a way. You can stretch your left leg straight as well, flex that foot, engage that leg as well. The parts that are less needed, the parts that feel a little bit more problematic, have a way to be more supported by the parts that we need, by the parts that help us, by the parts that are more wise and grounded, if that makes sense. Ground the top of the left thigh bone into the earth. That's going to make a little bit of an arch in your lumbar spine. That's perfect, because the lumbar spine naturally has a curve. Keep that, and if you're very, very open and your lower back just opened up so much, draw a little bit more of the sides of the ribs in front of the hip bones towards each other. Keep your legs strong. Deep breath in. And exhale, bend the right knee and place your right foot down. Bend the left knee to your chest. Flex your left foot and interlace your fingers behind your left thigh. Left leg stretch up towards the sky and keep that leg strong. So the foot is flexed. There's engagement. There's always going to be aspects of ourselves that we want to engage with more, and aspects that we want to sweep under the carpet, and aspects that we want to burn in the fire, and pieces that we actually forget we have. You can stretch your right leg straight and make the right leg strong as well. And all of it is not necessarily, it's not necessarily always bad to sweep some things under the rug. It's not always necessarily bad to put some things to sleep. I don't want to demonize any of the processes that we do, but I want to invite us to broaden the umbrella of our awareness so that we oversee the different parts of ourselves. So that we can, so the parts of us that we know that need to be in charge can really rise to the occasion of driving the ship. The wise parts, the part that is the container, the part that can say, okay, yeah, I have all these different things, different quirks, different aspects. When you're ready, bend your right knee. Place your right foot on the ground. Bend I meant left, by the way. So both feet right now are on the ground. Bend both of your knees. Put your hands on your bellies and just for a moment, let your knees knock in. Slow breath. If you're watching this around the time I'm releasing it, it's Leo season, and as an archetype, Leo is very much of a self-oriented, self-expression kind of a self, with a shadow that will tend to lean into self-importance and in an egoic way, in the way that we're used to thinking of the ego. And you can lean to one side and bring yourself slowly up into a seat, to invite us to consider how we can embrace this part and weave it into the process in ways that are helpful. How and where and when and in what ways is your ego really necessary? Because it is. It is necessary. And you're not the only important thing in the world, right? Take a seat, comfortable seat. We all know that, but practicing it, tending to this work, so important. I was just in a conversation earlier today with a client, and we were talking about how knowing something is very helpful. And if it doesn't have an active participation, if it doesn't activate, if you don't apply it, the process of yoga is the practice of learning and engaging and growing who we are and evolving the different parts of ourselves and evolving the parts of ourselves that we want to evolve more and ground more deeply and engage as many parts. Yoga is the engagement of many parts of self, and it's a practice, it's an application. So knowing and learning comes into its most helpful, to their most helpful places in us when we activate, when we actually take action, practicing what we learn. Not just the knowledge, but the actual practice of it is what makes the difference, right? So this season of summer, there's an activation kind of an energy because the sun is really strong. So lean into it. If you're watching it when I release it, lean into whatever the sun is doing right now, whenever it is that you're watching it, and let your eyes close so that you can turn to the inner parts of you, not because they're more important, but because we tend to listen inwardly a little less and breathe softly. And let this be more than a contemplation, but really a practice of breathing into as many different parts of you as you can. You can place a left hand over your heart. And if you'd like, you can place your right hand over your heart, over the left. If this feels good for you, comforting, grounding, helpful, you can place your right hand over your head, maybe forehead, maybe crown of your head, wherever it's calling. And place your right hand on your belly. Place your right hand on the earth. And place your right hand over your heart. Again, you are of your heart. You are the expression of your heart. Right hand on the head. You are your mind, your brain, all the wonder that is churned in this beautiful, powerful aspect that carries many aspects of you. Place your hand on your belly. You are the ability to digest, to process. You are a body. You are physical, filled with desires, needs, hunger, thirst. Place your right hand on the earth. You are of the earth. You are something greater than you that always threads you with bigger aspects of you. Once more, right hand to the heart. And right hand to the head. Right hand to the belly. And right hand to the earth. And then join your hands together in Anjali Mudra in front of your heart so that you become the offering of the deepest, most soft, heart-filled, soulful parts of you, the wisest of you, that holds you and all the parts of you as a process of becoming an offering, a gift to yourself and more than yourself. And whenever you're ready, allow your hands to release and your eyes to softly open. Thank you so, so much for joining me. I'm so grateful. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was evocative and interesting and inspiring for you. You don't have to agree with everything I share. Some of what I share is going to hit very deeply and resonate maybe, and some of it is going to feel off, and that's perfectly normal and okay. Take what feels true to you and leave the rest. And please come back. Share this with your friends. Put a like on this video if you liked it. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to this channel. There's more that comes your way. Subscribe to my Substack. Every Monday, there's Muse Medicine that drops in that space, and it's a mythic, archetypal exploration of what it means to be a creative being in our times. In this summertime, I am a little bit more loose with the schedule, so it's not every Monday. I'm being a little bit more tending to my children, and so I'm sharing a little less on Substack, but it still comes out. When it comes out, you're gonna love it. And there's a free ritual guide that I created. I'd love for you to take it. It's in the description of the video, and you can grab it on your way out and enjoy making your own rituals. These are times that really require our ability to ritualize, because it's difficult out there, and we need something that helps us work through our unconscious in ways that activate our creativity and help us build and support our meaning making processes. So this ritual guide is there for you, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. All right, thanks so much. Namaste.